Hey guys, welcome back to the Touchline, bringing you guys another video here on this channel. And as always, if you're new around here, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button on the road to 2K subs. So make sure you hit that button right now. Leave a like, comment down below, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video here on this channel. Now let's talk about the Dragons, who currently sit 9th on the NRL ladder. They've got the 10th best attack in the game, 12th best defense. Their points differential is -34, and it's a no-brainer that their star player in 2024 is Zach Lomax. And Dragons, I've always liked them, especially since Shane Flanagan has come. I really like what he's trying to do to this team, to play to his style, what he's done to Kyle Flanagan. We haven't seen this sort of player since when he left Roosters back in 2019, I think it was, or 2020. Ben Hart is playing his best footy. Zach Lomax has got the best out of him. Just a well-structured and organised team, and on their day, they are such a good and exciting team to watch. And for me, in my eyes, people might laugh, if they don't make top 8 this year, I do think that in 2025, they will make top 4. They've always had a strong team. It was just about finding that right coach, and in Shane Flanagan, they have got it, and he's going to do wonders for this club and soon win a premiership for them. And Zach Lomax, there's nothing to say about him. Shane Flanagan has got the best out of him. He's got his debut in Origin this year, and it just sums up how good he's been this year. But if I was to grade their season, I would give it a C+. Let's talk about the Warriors. As opposed to last year, they haven't been quite well this year. They're currently 10th on the NRL ladder. They've got the 10th best attack, the 5th best defense in the game, with a points differential of 27. And for me, their star player was between two, either Fanua Blake or Shaun Johnson, but I'm going to give it to Shaun Johnson. Last year, it was an incredible season. The story, making the top 4, nearly making it to the finals, with Shaun Johnson playing his great footy. And this year, it hasn't been the best, like I said. They started the season strong. During the middle of the season, when Shaun Johnson got out, they had a few injuries into the squad. Then things started to go wrong. But again, we're seeing the best of Warriors once again. They've got 3 wins in a row. Even without Shaun Johnson, they're performing well. And now, because they found that consistency, we can start to see if Warriors are the real deal. Because like I said, on their day, on many occasions, on their day, they are such a fantastic squad to watch. And I love the Warriors when they are playing great footy. You could see how passionate and excited their fans were last year. And I wish we can see that more often this year if they were in the top 8, which I believe they will make top 8. But again, it's all about consistency and winning games. That's how you're going to make top 8, is by winning games. Shaun Johnson, last year was his greatest season I've seen since his prime days. It hasn't been the best start to his career, especially when he got injured before that. But yeah, he's got a few tries under his name. There wasn't really a lot of options for me, but Shaun Johnson is the most obvious, so that's why I selected him. But if I was to grade their season, I would have to give it a C-, just because how good they were last year. They've really declined this year. Now let's talk about the Seagull Manly, who are currently 11th on the NRL ladder. They've got the 6th best attack. They've got the 11th best defense in the game. Their points differential is +26, and my player so far of the season for Manly is Tommy Talau. And for me, nothing has changed for Manly really. I think they are quite the same. Last year they weren't the best, started the season poorly, ended it quite well, and that's what I'm seeing this year. But it's the opposite, where they started the season strongly and now Manly are slowly fading away, and that's why they're 11th on the ladder. Haven't been impressive. I don't think they've been outstanding. They've had games where they've been really bad, like for example against Raiders. First up, dominated that game 22-0, but eventually Raiders came out in the second half and got their comeback and won 28-22, something around that. It just shows Manly are the same. They haven't improved or they haven't got worse, and there's nothing much to say about them because nothing's changed. But the most importantly is Tommy Talau, and I really rate this guy. I think he's a fantastic player. You look at last year at Tigers, last 3 years being at there, had few good games, but then injury will kick in and then he's out long term. But this year I've really seen an improved and much better fit Tommy Talau, and I'm so happy that he's really performing on a regular basis, playing every single game, scoring tries, who's currently on 11, which is the top try scorer right now. So it's great to see that he's playing his great footy right now. But if I was to grade Manly season so far, it would probably, again, I think I'm going to give a C-. Now the North Queensland Cowboys are currently 12th on the NRL ladder. They've got the 3rd best attack. Their defense is one of the worst, which is ranked 15th. Their points differential is -26, and their star player this year is Scott Drinkwater. And now Cowboys, as you know, 2 years ago they made the preliminary final against the Parramatta Eels. The year after, it wasn't the best season, failing to make finals. But this year they're fighting for finals. You can see they've been consistent. Yes, they're losing game. They're on a losing streak of 6, but now they've been on a winning streak. So it's good to see that Cowboys are finding form in some ways. Their attack has been outstanding. That's why they are ranked 3rd in the NRL as their best attack, as shown on the screen. But again, their defense for the last 3 years have been a big problem. And if you don't have a defense structure, if you don't have the best defense, sometimes if your attack's not clicking, you're just going to keep on leaking points. And that's what we've seen from Cowboys this year in 2024. I feel Tom Dearden and Chad Townsend have been good in some ways this year. They've had bad games, but I think their partnership has stabilized their attack, and that's why they've been scoring a lot of points. But it's just defensively where it's been a problem for Cowboys, and that's why the grading that I'm going to give them, it may put them down just because of defense. Scott Drinkwater, same great player for the last 2 years, always scoring tries, always contributing to the team, especially try assists. He's always getting double digits, especially in the 20s, and he's just an extraordinary player. And I wouldn't be surprised that one day he makes state of origin for the New South Wales Blues when the time is right. But yeah, he's my player of the year. Cowboys got a long way to go if they want to make finals, but if I was to grade their season so far, again, I feel I'm going to give a C-. Now let's talk about the Newcastle Knights, who are currently 13th on the NRL ladder. They've got the 15th best attack. They've got the 8th best defense in the competition. Their points differential is -47. And my player of the year so far is Gagai. Knights, last year they were extraordinary after round 13, smashing the Dogs. And they had a 10-11 winning streak into the finals, and it's extraordinary what they were able to achieve. They didn't go too far, but making it finals for a club like Knights is a good achievement. But this year things have changed. A few injuries. Bradman Best has been in and out of the squad. Jackson Hastings had a few injuries during the season. Just things haven't been going their way. Decisions as well. Their performances haven't been to the level that it was last year. Ponga, once again, always injured. He comes in injured again, and that's something they need to take into consideration. Is Ponga worth the money? Is Ponga worth to be at the club? Should they focus on David Armstrong or the new guy Sharp, who had his debut last week and it was pretty decent? So that's something Knights have to focus on if they need a decent fullback who's going to be there long term and no injuries, because again, Ponga being out, it's really affecting them so far. And Knights, for me, there's a lot of teams that have been inconsistent. They had a good 4 winning streak, but ever since they lost, I think it was the Magic Round, or was it the week after, they've been on a losing streak. So worrying signs for Knights. I don't think they've shown enough to show that they are worthy to be in the finals. And Ivan Gagai, yes, he's had a better season than most players in the Knights squad, but he was the best option I could go for. Still an experienced player. He works hard, he scores tries, contributes, creates chances, and that's what I love about Gagai, and that's why he's my player of the season. If I was to grade something for Knights, it would have to be a D-. Now let's talk about the Parramatta Eels, who are currently 14th on the NRL ladder. They've got the 12th best attack in the game. However, their defense is one of the worst. They're ranked 16th. Their points differential is -111. And their best player right now is their debut, their youngster, Talagi. And Parramatta Eels last year, for the last couple of years, always making it finals. Last year they failed to do so. Now this year it doesn't look like they're going to make it again. And it just shows something is wrong at that club. Ever since Reid Marnie, Papali'i left, things start to go downwards. Making a grand final, you expect them to make another grand final or make a final series. That's like the foundation for them. It can give them the motivation. It can boost them up into the next season. But it just actually made them worse. And I don't know what's happened to Parramatta Eels, why they've fallen so badly. They've sacked Brad Arthur. They've got Trent Barrett. Now the question is, who's going to be their coach? And I think Trent Barrett might be the answer right now for them, because there's not a lot of coaches on the market. You've got Jason Demetrio. He could be a possible solution for them, but I don't rate him as well as a coach. But they're in a big hole, and I feel Moses and Gutston is the only brightest player that can really help them get to finals, because it just shows without them, they were on a losing streak. And even till now, since they've come back, they've won a game, they've got Roosters this week. If they can win that game, they can get back into some hope of top 8 race. Rabbitohs have a chance of top 8 chance as well. The season isn't done until it is officially done, and there's still 13-12 games left. If they can get a winning streak running, they can make finals. And Blaze Talagi has been outstanding for Parramatta Eels. He's been their best player. Mitchell Moses and Gutherson have been injured for 4 to 5 weeks, so you can't really put him as their player of the year. But Talagi, youngster, he's a try scorer. He really has really changed the dynamics of the club when they're attacking, and he's been their brightest prospect. And it's good to see that someone from Parramatta, you don't see a lot of kids developing and playing first grade footy, and that's what Parramatta have done. So if I was to grade them, unfortunately I have to give a D- for Parramatta Eels as well, because it's been really a bad season. Let's talk about the Titans, who are currently ranked 15th on the NRL ladder. They've got the worst attack and defense, one of the worst, 16th in attack, 14th in defense. Their points differential is -123, and their star player for me is David Fafita. Now you have to feel sorry for Titans this year. Lots of bad calls have went against them. They've been losing games by 4 points, 2 points, winning games by close margins. They haven't been as bad as what people are making them out to be. You look at ever since Fafita's come, I think that has been the motivation, that has been the boost in their squad, and that's why they're doing pretty well. They've been winning games, also losing games. But if it wasn't for those bad calls, you look at Raiders, the golden point issue, someone obstructing him from blocking the field goal shot from going in. So many other bad calls, the double movement when Brian Kelly scored, which wasn't a double movement, or it was a knock-on situation. Just so many bad calls that went against them. And if it wasn't for those calls, I honestly believe that Titans would have been in a top 8 race. They could have been 16, 14 points, and that is close around top 8. They've just been hardly undone, and it's not fair to what Titans have experienced. Like for me, if I was a Doggies fan and those calls were going against me, I would be spewing. So Titans have lost a lot of points. I think they're developing into a strong team. By next year, I think they will get top 8. They'll contend for top 8. They've got a great coach in Des Hasler. I think Hasler this year is just organising his squad. He's seeing who's the right player to play for next year. And by next year, I think Titans will be a really good team under Hasler, because Hasler is a winning premiership manager, and he knows how to win trophies. So if it was the greatest a rating or a letter for Titans, it would have to be, I'll give them a D+. Now let's talk about the South Sydney Rabbitohs. As you can see on the screen, they are currently second last on the NRL ladder. They've got, again, one of the worst and one of the worst defense. Attack 14th, defense 17th. Their points differential is one of the worst, which is -136. And their best player for me is Kalamatagi. Now you look at Rabbitohs. Last year they failed to make finals. For the last 10 years they've been such an extraordinary team, always making the finals, always, especially preliminary finals. They just cannot make a finals. 2014 they won a premiership, but for the last 2 years it hasn't been the same for Rabbitohs. Yes, they're on a back-to-back winning streak. They're currently 6 points out of 6, which is great to see. They could potentially get top 8 if they were to go on a winning streak. You look at Knights, for example, 10 winning streak, anything can happen, and they got themselves into the final series. Now we just have to see consistency now from Rabbitohs. You need Latrell Mitchell to not do anything silly, keep on performing what we've seen in the last 3 weeks since his return back. Cody Walker's clicking into form slowly. You've got Jack Wyden, who's moved into his natural position, and if you can build something around that, things will start to change for Rabbitohs, which I haven't seen since Ben Hornby has taken over. Jason Demetriou was, I think, the problem. Lots of issues behind the scenes, disagreements, and that's why maybe that issue really reflected their performances on the pitch, and that's why they weren't getting the results that the club wanted. But we're seeing a different Rabbitohs recently, and things are slowly starting to change. But again, if you're basing on the whole season so far, for the last 14 rounds, I would have to say Rabbitohs, if I'm grading them something, it would have to be a D-. Now the last club for part 2 of this video, you've got the West Tigers, who are currently the team last on the NRL ladder. They've got the worst attack in the competition. Their defense is not that bad, ranked 13th. Their points differential is similar, close to Rabbitohs with -137, and it's a no-brainer. Their player of the year is Lachlan Galvin. Now Tigers started the season quite well in the first 2 games, winning both of them. People were shocked. People thought, oh, there's a new Tigers. Benji Marshall has got him the way he wants us to play. But later on, things started to go the wrong way. Lots of injuries started to kick in. Suspensions, especially last year, they weren't good. The year before, they got the wooden spoon. So again, they could potentially get another wooden spoon this year. And right now, Tigers are in a position where they have to be patient. Things will slowly change. You look at Dragons, light is coming at the end of the tunnel. You look at Bulldogs, who have really shocked the competition, are currently 5th on the NRL ladder. Even, for example, Cowboys, where they were 15th the year after they made preliminary final. So anything can change. They just have to be patient. Trust Benji Marshall, because he's a fantastic coach. If you give him time, things will go his way. And again, Tigers fans, if you're watching this, just stay patient. Like I've said, things will turn around. You just have to believe in your coach, believe in your team. These tough times will make these great moments exceptional, and that's what I'm experiencing as a Doggies fan. Believe in Benji Marshall. He's doing an incredible job. He's getting the best out of the squad of what he has in front of him. But things will change. Just be patient. Like I've said, Tigers will get the wooden spoon, unfortunately. I think as it stands, they haven't been performing. A losing streak, I think that's 10 defeats in a row. But yeah, things aren't looking good for them, for Tigers. And Lachlan Galvin has been their brightest player. Questions about his future. I don't think he has the right to leave. Of course, he's a player, he can leave, but he's still young. He needs to develop. Be grateful, be thankful for them giving you the opportunity to play first grade footy, because not a lot of kids your age get the chance to play first grade. So yeah, Lachlan Galvin is a special player and has a big future in the game. But I think if I'm going to grade Tigers, it will have to be a D- as well. Anyways guys, that's a wrap to another touchline video. If you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave a like, comment down below, hit the notification bell as always so you don't miss a video here on this channel. This is part 2, and we'll see you next time.